Good morning. My name is Rev Kylie Renner, and on behalf of the entire One Spiritual Center community, there we go. I want to welcome you here. Thank you for bringing your love and your presence into this space today. I was thinking a lot about something magical that keeps happening around me, and I'm going to tell you a little bit more later about some of the projects I've been working on. But one of the projects that I've been working on is removing a bathroom so that we can put new fixtures in and rearrange some things. And we have this really magical curb. So every time we get something and we pull it out, we put it on the curb and it goes away. It's amazing. It just finds a new home. And we have been doing this, but there's been something really interesting that keeps happening, is that as soon as someone takes something, they've been leaving something. So every time someone takes a vanity, there will be then a piece of art, and it's been art recently, and so we've had these series of pieces of art left as this exchange, and I've been really fascinated by that whole concept. Like, I was actually trying to get rid of something, and instead what happened was something else was called in. And I'm realizing that in this season in which there's all of this wind and all of these things that are changing, that it's a really beautiful opportunity to realize that we are having things blowing away so that we can be open to the newness. And we have to let that happen, though. It can't happen if we are not willing to be part of that exchange. And so I'm excited about what new piece of art is going to show up, because I will be tearing something else out this week. And what new thing is going to be opened because of that willingness to let go and be available to what's new. And so I'm opening us to that space today of just what is it that just needs to shift? What needs to be let go of so that we can have a new perspective and have new energy and have new aliveness in this very interesting world that we're living in right now. So we're going to begin with prayer. So if you're comfortable, please just close your eyes and take a breath. And in the beauty of this morning, we just find ourselves right where we are. Letting go of everything that it took to get here, and all of the things that we're preparing for the rest of the day and for the rest of the week. We just allow ourselves to be present in this moment, to what it feels like to be alive today, what it feels like to be right here. And as we open to that, we have access to a deep sense of awareness that allows us to bring peace, love, creativity, and possibility into this moment. And as we continue just to breathe and to open, I recognize that Spirit is moving, that love is moving, that peace is moving. And so we just welcome whatever it is that this day has in store for us. We welcome it, and we make room for more good to come into our lives. We are willing to be surprised by the good as it shows up. And so we just welcome it in expected and unexpected ways, and we trust in Spirit. We let go into it, and we let it be, and so it is.
If you'd like to join us, our first song. I can see clearly now, the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone are the dark clouds that had me blind. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, sunshiny day. Think I can make it now, the pain is gone. All of the bad feelings have disappeared. Here is a rainbow I've been praying for. It's gonna be a bright, sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, sunshiny day. Look all around, nothing but blue skies. Look straight ahead, nothing but blue skies. I can see clearly now, the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone are the dark clouds, they had me blind. It's gonna be a bright, sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, sunshiny day.
Our sacred reading this morning is a poem called The Journey by David White. Above the mountains, the geese turn into light again, painting their black silhouettes on an open sky. Sometimes everything has to be inscribed across the heavens so you can find the one line already written inside your heart. Sometimes it takes a great sky to find that first bright and indescribable wedge of freedom of your own. Sometimes, with the bones of the black sticks left when the fire has gone out, someone has written something new in the ashes of your life. You are not leaving. Even as the light fades quickly now, you are arriving. So we're going to take the energy of that beautiful poem and take it into meditation by our most amazing John Bartlett on ukulele. So I just invite you to maybe close your eyes again and to breathe. And we're going to allow the music to take us wherever it needs to take us today, into that place of being able to hear the wisdom of our own heart, to start something new, to open to a bigger idea. And we just allow the music to lead us to our wisdom.
Our special music this morning, Lee Taylor is here. Lee Taylor. Thank you. That's Lee Taylor. And we want to thank Maud Bienhauer for sitting in today, too.
Thank you, Lee. Thank you, Maud, for sitting in. So today is a special day for a lot of reasons, but one of them is that it is Milo Jaramillo's birthday. And so he's off partying. So the big 5-0, we can give him a lot of for that next week. It's also our amazing sound technician Kirk's birthday today too, so happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday. Thank you for making everyone sound so good. So one of the things that I love to do is work on projects. You know this about me, and we have this theory in home renovation that you don't have to spend a lot of attention on things that are high up because no one looks up. It actually takes a really long time for someone to be in a space to actually look up. And we found that this is actually true. In fact, I've done experiments where I put something strange high up, waiting to try and find out how long it takes for someone to notice that I hung a wind chime or put a sticker or did something high up. So that usually is the case, except for the fact that we have this one room in this house that we're renovating at the moment where you walk in and you're higher than you would normally be. And so we have to pay a lot of attention to this ceiling because it is very, very, very noticeable. And so all week I spent like this. My neck, I can feel it. Can you? Yeah, just thinking about it, even like, so there's this really interesting sense where I kept thinking about what it feels like to look up. And especially to look up when there's something right there. And how interesting it is and how different it is to look up instead outside where it feels like it's infinite. And there's this really amazing sense of this capacity we have to always be choosing whether we're looking up. And in fact, when we're looking up, we have to also this capacity to decide, like, what is it what ceiling have we put on our lives? And so I've been thinking a lot about that in terms of just the idea of being willing for things to look up, like for things to change directions. And I was remembering that every time you're on some hike or you're going to go to the Grand Canyon, everyone says, "Don't look down. Whatever you do, don't look down." And there's something really interesting about that, and in fact, it's a very human thing, that so much so that people have manipulated that for cinematography and such, that if you show someone up really high on something really narrow, looking down, it invokes in all of us watching this sense of like fear and dread. It's like this really easy thing to do. Just imagine it, and you start going, you start to catch your breath. And I realized that there's all kinds of ways in which we're constantly looking down in life. Like we're looking, where we feel like we're really high up, standing on a really small ledge, looking down, and we have this capacity to create that kind of sense of dread and fear in our lives. And in fact, with all of the things going on in the world, it's really easy to access that if we want to. And so I was realizing as I was going up and down this ladder and looking up a lot that there was something that needed to shift in me so that I wasn't so easily following into the trap of starting to get so wrapped up in looking down on things or looking at things with a certain ceiling and be willing to have an expanded idea. So I came across once again this poem that I love by Mark Nepo that I think speaks beautifully to this idea. And so this is what he says. I keep looking for one more teacher, only to find that fish learn from water and birds learn from sky. If you want to learn about the sea, it helps to be at sea. If you want to learn about compassion, it helps to be in love. If you want to learn about healing, it helps to know of suffering. The strong live in the storm without worshiping the storm. The strong live in the storm without worshiping the storm. So ultimately for me, this became about this idea of what is the relationship I want to have with how I'm thinking about things in my own life and in the world. Am I willing to be in the storm without then becoming someone who is worshiping that drama or that pain or that suffering? Can I open myself to be willing to not continue to take that approach in which not only is the thing happening, but then I am so attached to it happening that I am looking at it from a perspective that is causing me dread or fear, instead of making me realize that there is possibility there, that there is learning happening, that there is something that is being transformed. So I came across this other piece that Mark Nepo wrote that I thought was really helpful for this kind of perspective around what's happening when we're transforming, because I think we often forget this. And this is what he said: often as we are being transformed, we cannot tell what is happening. Simple as that. Often as we are being transformed, we cannot tell what is happening. For while in the midst of staying afloat, it is next to impossible to see the ocean we are being carried into. While struggling with the pain of change, it is often impossible to see the new self that we are becoming. When feeling our hand pried loose by experience, we seldom can imagine what will fill it once it is opened. As the days rinse our heart, we can feel something unseeable scour us through, though we can't yet imagine how much fresher milk and sky and laughter will taste once we are returned to the feeling of being new. So we're in the midst of it. We cannot tell what's happening. We cannot tell what's being transformed. So we are required to make sure that our focus is right and that we are looking towards the becoming instead of being obsessed by what is falling away. And I think that this is just one of those lessons that as humans that we're just going to have to get really good at. Like that we need to stop obsessing about what it is that needed to be let go of and the pain and the suffering of that. And then instead turn our focus and start looking towards what is becoming, even when we can't see it yet. And we have to keep doing that and reminding ourselves, because our entire culture is saying, look down. You're really high up on this really small ledge. Look down and be scared. Instead of asking for us to actually look up. So there's this beautiful Leonardo da Vinci quote that says this: once you have tasted the taste of sky, you will forever look up. Once you have tasted the taste of sky, you will forever look up. But we have to remind ourselves, and we have to remind ourselves that it's possible. And then we have to do the simple thing, like look up, like look in a different direction from the direction we've been looking at something. And it's sometimes just as easy as changing the place we normally sit. In our home or in our office. Sometimes it's just as easy of just even shifting how we're postured towards something in some way in our lives. Like it can be so simple just to start to change that perspective. Nothing huge has to happen. And I think that it's really important that we start to create rituals around and cues around being willing to shift. And how is it that we want to shift so that we're not continuing to fall into this trap of looking down and really be willing to recognize that something glorious is being built? Something powerful is being built and created that we can participate in. So one of my favorite authors is Dr. Clarissa Pinkola Estes. Some of you may know some of her work. And if you're not currently following her blog, I really incredibly recommend it because she has this way of speaking to me right in the moment of what exactly it is that needs to be said. And so she wrote this actually, I received it this morning. And I was like, oh my God, this is exactly what's happening. And I want to share it with you. So she wrote a piece that I've shared over and over again about this idea that we're in this time where we're all these boats out on the sea and that we have this capacity to signal to each other. And there's something beautiful happening. And this is a little bit of a continuation of that. So this is based on her experience of just hearing a bunch of people getting really discouraged and looking down. And this is what she said. Do not do anything drastic to take yourself off the ark. Our ark is built ably by the soul's carpenters and shipbuilders. Our world ark is big and heavy and carrying all of the treasures of our world, our souls, spirits, minds, bodies, and hearts, up the towering swells and down the dark troughs and evening out for a bit before the next roller. We are doing it. We are on the way. We are together. And there will be dry land again, and we are prepared for that, prepared to seek it, inhabit it, settle all the treasures back into it. It will come. It will come because we are seaworthy. Whether daylight or dark night, we are together in a seaworthy vessel made of literally billions of hearts filled with love and light. We are such a force. So, it's all right to get stuck. This is me going to the next section. But we have to remember that we're somewhere on the page, and we're going to find it. There we are. But our every fight from true self with love that hurls true love to help calm the storms is absolutely right, proper, and effective for us to do together. As I look between the worlds, I see the currents that we are running very, very fast. And we may not see all the outcomes of our efforts, for we are traveling faster than ever before in the history of humanity. Matters are currently not taking years or entire eras as in the past, but days and sometimes hours to change. It is all right. We are all of different gifts, and we are sailing this fast and rough sea together. Each has our own work to do, on deck and below deck, mending the sails, pulling at the oars, creating, inventing, solving, lifting, improvising, and keeping going like the eternal flame of the soul that truly is, that you truly are. So do not tire now. There is a reason in all the myths and holy writings that there are heroes and heroines cry out sometimes, "Oh Creator, how long shall we suffer?" And the answer is always, keep going. Anoint thyself with precious fragrance, speak to greater, build the fire, sing the song, say the question, and listen for the directions and comforts that come. There is land ahead, calm and nourishing, far more than what is now existent. So this, for me, spoke so powerfully to this idea that we have to keep our focus there. That we are seaworthy, that certainly it is stormy, and there is more storms that we will go through together, but we are together, and that something is moving. And if we can keep our focus there on what is being created instead of what we have to let go of and what is being destroyed, I know that we will be able to bring the heart of who we are onto this planet and bring it in a different way. So what I know for myself is that I'm being called into this by life itself. It's like this assignment we've been given by the divine right now, which is to get really, really good at being able to distinguish the storm and not start to worship it, to get to know the storm, to start to have a relationship with the storm, but that relationship not being one in which we have given ourselves away to it, and we actually get to do something else. And so I know that this is how we create new things. This is how we taste more sky. This is how we start to look into this greater idea. And I just love this quote that I will use for my entire life, which is a Pema Chodron quote that says, "You are the sky, everything else is just the weather." And so when we can remember that we are the sky, that there is something bigger going on, that we can look up to that perspective and continue to be able to empower a new idea that the divine wants to bring onto this planet through us. And we can do that, and it is possible, but we can't get sucked in. So I just know that there's this capacity we have to look up into new possibilities, and to really remind ourselves that we are opening these doors, and that there is magic there that we didn't even know was there before, and it's all being opened right now. And we just have to keep our awareness there. So that we can really be transformational agents of change, so that we really can create something new, so that we don't fall into the same patterns and problems or the way that we've approached problems in the past. There's something new that's trying to happen. So I'm hoping that this week I don't need so many reminders about looking up. I hope that project is almost done. But I am inviting you into this practice of trying to find ways to start to look at things differently, especially those areas of your life where you feel like you're stuck in them, or that you have and you know the only solution, or that you were really attached to worshiping the storm of it, and see if just taking a new perspective, being willing to look at it from a different angle, even if you don't know what the end solution is going to be then, or that it even does anything immediately. Just being willing to say, I'm actually not going to hold this in my life in the same way. I'm not going to look at it the same way. I'm going to let it occupy a different place in my heart, and see if it shifts, because I know that it will. So I'm going to actually ask the band to come in, because they're going to help me sing into our prayer time. And once again, I forgot all of my technology so that I can make that happen. But as we open to this prayer together, this prayer time, I'm just going to invite you to imagine something that you're willing to change perspectives around. Maybe it's something that you've been looking down in your life at, and you're willing to look up instead, or to change directions in some way. And we're going to sing this beautiful song by Nikki Harris, and then we'll pray. Please join me.
Our prayer of love lifts us high. It heals us, sustains us, and sets us free. Our prayer of love lifts us high. It heals us, sustains us, and sets us free. Our prayer of love lifts us high. It heals us, sustains us, and sets us free. Our prayer of love lifts us high. It heals us, sustains us, and sets us free.
And so we just declare this prayer of love to be the prayer that changes everything. The prayer that allows us to take whatever it is that is moving in our life and to move it to a place in which the divine is able to operate and create new possibilities. New possibilities for peace and awareness, more possibilities for love, and possibilities for this deep sense of connection. And I just recognize that there is Spirit moving through each and every one of us, and that life is showing us this beautiful opportunity to recognize that we are together creating something more beautiful than we ever could have imagined. That Spirit is moving in us, and that we are supported in this creative idea that there is something more calling to us, because we have tasted sky. And since we have tasted sky, we are willing to look up to new possibility. We are willing to look up into creative awareness, and we are willing to look up into a whole new way of being that completely transforms our relationship to life itself. And it is right here. It is what is happening through us, and now is the time. So instead of turning our awareness from that vision by everything that happens in life, we allow everything that happens in life to remind us more deeply of that vision, of that sky. And we allow that sky to remind us that there is something so much bigger going on. Something calling to us. And we are willing to be transformed by it, by the magic of what is possible right now that has never been possible before. And so we welcome that possibility. We welcome the new perspective. We welcome the course that we are able to take then through this amazing journey that we are on together, this adventure in life. And I just recognize that right there in the willingness to shift, that everything happens, that everything moves, and how blessed we are to have the power to do so, to the power to transform, the power to recognize that our prayer of love really does something. And so we let it move, and we let it be. And so
our
it is.
prayer of love lifts us high. It heals us, sustains us, and sets us free. Once again, Lee Taylor. This is a Charlie Parker tune. And Lee told me this morning he wanted to play something he could play in his sleep. I said, not too many people can play Charlie Parker tunes in their sleep. That's Lee Taylor. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Lee. It was actually kind of fun that we're having issues with the projector today, but it was like the music was causing like life to do some interesting things. Okay, so now's the time where we move into our tithes and offerings. That's what we're doing. I'm so distracted this morning. Hello. I've been looking up too much. All right, so we invite you to take whatever it is you brought to share with this community today and hold it over your heart. We also have this amazing new thing called Text to Give, and there's a phone number up there if you are interested in giving in that way. You can set it up, and it is actually pretty easy. It'll walk you through the steps. So I'm just going to invite you to take whatever it is that you are giving into this space today as your offering of love, and to set an intention in that, whatever that might be, just feeling into this sense of what new perspective you're calling forward, what new relationship you want to have with something in your life. Maybe there's an opportunity to just remember that you have tasted sky, and so you know that it is possible, that there is something different that can happen, something new and powerful, something more filled with love and peace. Whatever that is, I just invite you to feel what that feels like and just continue to feel it as we sing together.
Blue skies smiling at me, nothing but blue skies do I see. Blue birds singing a song, nothing but bluebirds all day long. Never saw the sun shining so bright, never saw things going so right. Noticing the days hurrying by, when you're in love, my, how they fly. Oh, blue days, all of them gone, nothing but blue skies from now on. blue skies smiling at me. It's nothing but blue skies do I see. Bluebirds singing a song, nothing but bluebirds all day long. Never saw the sun shining so bright, never saw things going so right. Noticing the days hurrying by, when you're in love, my how they fly. Oh, blue days, all of them gone, nothing but blue skies from now on. Nothing but blue skies from now on.
So we just together are going to offer a blessing on that which has been given today. We bless that which has been given, the giver and the receiver, and this endless cycle of love and support that just keeps on expanding through us. I just recognize that peace and possibility are present here in this moment in a way that they have never been present before, and I just allow for the intentions that have been uplifted in this room just to be moved powerfully and creatively through the force of love that is life itself. I bless it and I let it be, and so it is. So I just have a few announcements today. The first one is a gratitude for everyone who showed up yesterday to help us distribute books. So we were given an opportunity to help get 5,000 books to teachers in Albuquerque yesterday. And I had the joy of sitting behind the table where we were actually also offering school supplies and all kinds of things. And it was such an amazing thing to stand there and have all these educators tell me, it feels like Christmas. This is the most amazing thing. And so I thank you for helping make that happen. I see some of you who were there yesterday. So thank you, thank you, thank you. So we have a couple of other opportunities to be of service this month. Next Saturday, we will be cooking for Community of Hope, which is our partnership with First United Methodist Church. And what we do is prepare a meal that then is served the next day during a worship service. And last month we served 72 people, and so we cook together, and it's just a great way also just to infuse that which we're cooking with this sense of possibility and peace and awareness. I know that that goes into nourishing people's bodies who are hungry, and there's something really beautiful about being able to participate in that. So there's information about that, as well as the fact that then the next Saturday, we'll be going together once again to Roadrunner Food Bank. And this is also, we show up and they tell us what to do, and we've done all kinds of things over the years. The last time we were there, we got to sort through all this amazing fresh produce, and then get to go through all the breads and get them distributed properly so that they can also go out into our community and serve people's needs and make sure that their hunger is fed. So those are coming up the next 2 weeks, and then there will be more opportunities in May. But those are the ones that are set right now, and there's a flyer about that out at the information table, and Sharon can tell you more about that as well. So once again, just happy birthday, Kirk. Happy birthday, Milo. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Thank you, Lee. Thank you, Maud. Thank you all. Thank you for bringing your love into this space. We are going to sing our last song before our benediction, so please join me.
One love, one heart. Let's get together and feel alright. One love, one heart. Let's give thanks to the Lord. We can feel alright. People, get ready for the train a-coming. Don't need no baggage, just get on board. melody is so humming. Don't need no tickets, you just thank the Lord. One love, one heart. Let's get together and feel alright. One love, one heart. Let's give thanks to the Lord and we can feel alright. People get ready for the train to Jordan, picking up passengers from coast to coast. Faith is the key, open the doors and boredom. There's room for all that love the most. One love, one heart. Let's get together and feel alright. One love, one heart. Let's give thanks to the Lord and we can feel alright. Let's give thanks to the Lord and we can feel alright.
All right, so please now join me for our beautiful musical benediction.
Go forth and walk in beauty and know that we are one.
And so it is.